Hei, papa ki tuana nā tā ki maua, I whakanukunuku hia, I whakanekeneke hia. I whiwārere tia e hotu, a wahine rua ki te wai, ki tai wiwi, ki tai wāwā, ki te whai au, ki te ao mārama, tihe mauri ora.
Kia ora everyone. We're talking about the wise teacher in New Zealand, and we want to relate this to Hauora. Hauora is a concept that involves 4 parts, and in order to be well balanced, each part has to be balanced with the others. If you want to think of a barrel and its capacity to store water, imagine if all the slacks were different sizes. So even if some were extra tall, you would only be able to store as much water as the smallest slack. Similarly, Hauora is comprised of 4 parts, representing 4 different things, and each is just as important as the other. In Scripture, Mark 12:30, we are commanded to love the Lord with all our heart, with all our soul, with all our mind, and with all our strength. Won't you come on in and see how the wise teacher is characterized by te whare tapawha, and how this relates to the verse in Mark? Haere mai!
Tēnā koutou. The wall or side I will be discussing regarding te whare tapawha is te taha wairua, or the spiritual characteristics of a wise teacher. I will discuss 3 areas within te taha wairua, or the spiritual side: relational, responsive, and transformative. Relational relates to the ability of a teacher to connect to the Creator, to enable whanaungatanga or relationships to happen through a spiritual connection. Responsive relates to the ability of a teacher to connect to the student, to enable mātauranga or knowledge to flow naturally onto the spirit. Transformative relates to the spiritual transforming of the student, remembering the student is the whare. So transformation occurs when a student becomes aware of how the spirit can work in sync with the Creator. A wise teacher uses te taha wairua, or the spiritual side, to connect, to ground and instill values, ideals and morals to the student. In te taha wairua, diversity is encouraged, responsibilities are fostered, and culture is paramount. A wise teacher can use te taha wairua in the classroom, from the start of the lesson to the end. Prayer, discussions, group work, assessments are all influenced by the spirit of an individual. Within the New Zealand context, one of the key competencies is to relate to others. The spirit is something universal that all individuals, students, and teachers have and can relate to. A wise teacher must be competent in the actual use of one's spirit and how this relates to the world of learning, to the world of teaching. Te taha wairua is the inner self working. Ko te wairua karere I te ao mātauranga, ka rapua I ngā mea katoa.
Taha tinana. Taha tinana, physical well-being, which is the physical body, its growth, its development, ability to move, and ways to care for it. The elements that it covers is personal identity, health benefit, strength, weight management, nutrition, sexuality, confidence, work rate, team strategies, feelings, fresh and healthy feeling, and expression. You see, like one takes care of personal well-being, a wise teacher looks at the classroom as one physical body. With this concept, a wise teacher will show concern, love, discipline, care, and interest in this body. He will strive to find ways for positive growth and development of this body. What this may look like? Well, a wise teacher maintains professional in all areas, from personal appearance to organizational skills and preparedness for each day. A wise teacher respects students. In a wise teacher's classroom, each person's gender and personal identity are valued. Students feel safe to express their feelings and to learn to respect and listen to others. This teacher creates a welcoming learning environment for all students. A wise teacher creates a sense of community and belonging in the classroom. The mutual respect in this teacher's classroom provides a supportive, collaborative environment. A wise teacher is warm, accessible, enthusiastic, and caring. A wise teacher sets high expectations for all students. This teacher realizes that expectations he has for his students greatly affect their achievement. He knows the students generally give to teachers as much as little as is expected of them. He constantly reviews and renews himself as a professional on his quest to provide students with the highest quality of education possible. A wise teacher is a skilled leader. A wise teacher can shift gears and is flexible when a lesson isn't working. This teacher assesses his teaching throughout the lesson and finds new ways to present material to make sure that every student understands the key concept. A wise teacher uses constructive criticism and advice as an opportunity to grow as an educator. We are the wise teachers.
Taha whānau, or the social well-being. The social well-being is the key factor for our whare. Without this wall, our whare will fall. Whānau can be broken into two words, whā and no. Whā meaning for and no meaning yours. So 4 elements that are yours. As characteristics of a wise teacher, these could be relational, social balance, integrity, and decision making. The relational value for the teacher is to ensure that they maintain a good and healthy relationship with their friends and family. This may be with the community, friends on Facebook, Twitter, and other such social media. This gives you the confidence and social support. The second element is to keep a balanced social life. This is to make time for everyone that is important to you. The integrity, to keep your social life separate to your teaching life. Every decision you make can reflect on your teaching career. Friends are important, family are important, and the culture or makeup of learning is important. In the New Zealand context, the whānau is important to understand your student. You must understand their background, even if you have to know their friends or their parents. This gives you that support to teach your student from a better perspective. Knowing each student's name will give you your student their social well-being. This is healthy pedagogy. Teaching and learning starts from your home, as a teacher and as a student. A healthy home equals a healthy family, a healthy teacher. In the classroom, a healthy teacher and a well-planned lesson equals healthy pedagogy.
Kia ora. I'm talking about taha hinenaro. This is the mental aspect of Hauora and can be broken down into 2 parts. Firstly, acknowledging and expressing thoughts and feelings, and secondly, responding constructively to these thoughts. In James 2:17, it says, "Faith by itself, if not accompanied by action, is dead." The wise teacher in New Zealand has the characteristic of breaking the first part of taha hinenaro down into creating classroom culture that is conducive to learning. So how does a wise teacher do this? Well, the wise teacher seeks to get students engaged with learning, and the best way to do this is by giving students a sense of belonging, ownership, and responsibility. Van der Waal states that engagement is key to lifelong love of learning. And indeed, one of the in the New Zealand curriculum, one of the visions for New Zealand students is that they be lifelong learners. The second element of taha hinenaro was that of acting according to our thoughts. I'd like to put forward that a wise teacher in New Zealand has the characteristics of managing classrooms well in response to expressed thoughts. So how does a wise teacher manage a classroom? Well, Rag points out that teachers need a whole repertoire of teaching skills. But 2 key elements here could be time and group work spacing. I'd like to look at a real practice that we can relate to taha hinenaro in the classroom. And that is by beginning the year with a classroom discussion on values and handing over the responsibility to students to make their own rules and consequences. So this involves the two parts of hinenaro: acknowledging and expressing thought, but then taking further action. Doing this gives greater meaning to students as they have a sense of ownership and responsibility. It also includes self-esteem, making decisions, and having fun, all further parts of taha hinenaro. The wise teacher in New Zealand who has taha hinenaro balanced with the other aspects of Hauora is responsive, because they take thoughts and feelings and then act upon them. Is relational, because they require trust and involvement from all parties. And it's transformative, because they take students' understanding of the self and behaviours and brings these into the wider, holistic setting of the classroom.
All four sides of te whare tapawhā are needed to support each other. When one wall is weak and collapses, the structure of the house suffers, and the house will fall down and not provide sufficient shelter. Likewise with humans, or te ira tangata. Any weaknesses in a certain area will lead to an unhealthy and unbalanced individual. When certain aspects of hauora are not fulfilled, there can be negative consequences. When physical well-being is neglected, a person can lose the ability to function properly and show signs of illness. When social well-being is neglected, a person can become isolated and without support. If mental and emotional well-being is neglected, a person lacks the ability to make good decisions and does not think properly. If spiritual well-being is neglected, an individual can become disillusioned with their life and lacks motivation. Te whare tapawhā, au whare.
In our Christian worldview, 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 21 to 26 says, "The eye cannot say to the hand, I don't need you. And the head cannot say to the feet, I don't need you. But God has put the body together, giving greater honor to the parts that lacked it, so that there should be no division in the body, but that its parts should have equal concern for each other. If one part suffers, every part suffers with it. If one part is honored, every part rejoices with it."
Kia tau, kia tātou katoa, kia te whai o tō tātou ariki ai karaiti, i te aroha o te atua, e te whiwhinga tahitanga, te wairua tapu, ake ake, āmeni.
Alright, you've got your gadget.
Yep, we're good to go.
So we all
Generally give to teachers.
One.
Taha whānau.
Toru, rua. Ja.
Oh. Down into two words. Whā and no. Whā meaning for and no meaning yours. So four characteristics.
That was good.
Doing this gives greater greater meaning.
Maua, whakanuku hia, whakaneke hia. Kiwa. Te whai au ki tau mārama, tihe mauri ora.